Brings together footballing legends, Liverpool and Manchester United, Paisley and Busby representing the past and the present, a fixture that represents the unexpected.
Forward from Robson, now Augustin, played through by Stapleton, here's Augustin, smooth, rolls it past Grobbelaar.
Hughes, white side, curling cross to Stapleton!
No team can match United's league record at Anfield. Their performances here are constant irritation to Britain's most successful club. But they failed to keep pace with Liverpool's relentless march on the game's top prizes. 6 league titles have come to Anfield in the 80s, 10 in all since United last won the trophy they covered most. That's more than 20 years ago. And after a decade of domination, Liverpool's desire for more is as strong as it's ever been.
Rushing in the penalty box. And he looked for him and he found him. And that's 5, and that's magnificent by Liverpool again. And even Bruce Grobbelaar can enjoy that one.
Victory today would take Kenny Dalglish and his team back to the top of the First Division. But United manager Alex Ferguson badly needs his expensive side to conjure another Anfield fairy tale. As the 90s approach, his future is clouded by dissent in the boardroom, unrest on the terraces, and some desperate results on the field. It's a red-letter day in the First Division, one of the games of the season. It's Liverpool versus Manchester United. And here are Liverpool, who took Chelsea apart last week, probably the outstanding performance of the season to date. And a repeat today would surely be too much for United, although the Anfield faithful there are painfully aware that they rarely come off second best despite an overall record compared to Liverpool's that can only be described as second-rate. But let's face it, they're not alone there. Good afternoon, everyone, and Merry Christmas to you. And as far as our studio guest is concerned, it's Buenos Dias, Feliz Navidad. John Aldridge, good afternoon. Good afternoon. You'll find no trouble just slipping back into English, will you?
No, I don't think so. I've got them all speaking Scouse up there anyway, so there's no problem.
It's good to be back?
Yeah, it's very special, yeah. Been back for 5 days now, so I really look forward to it and enjoying it.
Now, you saw Liverpool last week beating Chelsea by 5 goals to 2. How do you rate the Liverpool minus Aldridge?
Oh, it's no difference, you know. It's superb. 2 great goals by Rushy, and in fact all the goals were special goals. And only for the goalkeeper again, it could have been 5 more on top of that.
Why is it you think that Manchester United usually do so well here against Liverpool generally?
I don't know. The game's probably the nearest that you could get compared to a Liverpool-Everton derby. There was a lot of tension about in the dressing room before the game, and perhaps that might have a bearing on it.
All right, John, well, for your benefit, let's just have a look at the top of the First Division, and let's see what Liverpool have got to do to go into pole position over Arsenal at Christmas. Basically, it's just a win. And as far as the bottom of the First Division is concerned, Manchester United in 13th place, they really need a win today to boost their flagging confidence and also to lift them to the top half of the table. Well, let's join our commentators now. Ron Atkinson, the most successful Manchester United manager since Sir Matt Busby, and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Elton. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, the great rivalry here includes the purchasing of players as well as the pursuit of points. Glenn Hussein was snatched by Liverpool when he was set to sign for Manchester United in the summer. Hussein takes his usual place in the centre of Liverpool's defence. It is the same side which won so well at Chelsea last week, with John Barnes still missing, and Steve McMahon's midfield match-up with Brian Robson should alone be worth your full concentration as you watch from your armchairs. Up front, Peter Beardsley and Ian Rush. And Rush trying for the 17th time to wipe away an irritating blot on his splendid scoring record. He still awaits his first goal against Manchester United. The defence he tries to beat shows one change from the side which lost to Spurs last week. Lee Martin replacing Lee Sharp at left-back. In midfield, the tougher approach of Clayton Blackmore is preferred to Russell Beardsmore. And then it's Mark Hughes with Brian McClair. McClair always prepared to tuck into midfield when required. It's a day designed really for the resolve of Brian Robson, who feels the current frustrations at Manchester United so keenly. When Liverpool last saw Joe Worrell out in the middle for one of their games, it was in the FA Cup final against Everton last May. This is a fixture which has always been fiercely fought. Some clubs have regularly capitulated, intimidated by Anfield. Manchester United are not among them. United in their change strip of white shirts. They attack the Kop end with some purpose too. And Mulby smuggled the ball away. You can be sure the match will begin at a frenetic pace. Ron Atkinson, you had a tremendous record here, as Elton Wellesby was saying, and can you tell us the secret?
The secret was I came here with good players. We rolled our sleeves up and we used to compete every inch of the territory, and at times luck was on our side. Unfortunately, we got good results, but it was all a question of attitude, Martin.
Alex Ferguson, the current Manchester United manager, has been preaching publicly that Manchester United must be positive here. But it's not so easy given their current run. They've lost their last 3 games, the last 2 of them at home. And Jim Leighton can expect to be very busy in their goal. Lee Martin with a throw. Hughes. Well, he's capable of the kind of heroics that Manchester United might need, Mark Hughes. Brian McClare would just be happy with a goal. He's had a miserable time in that respect recently. Handshake between Hussein and Hughes. Gary Pallister coming across. United feel he's bedding in well in the centre of their defence with Steve Bruce. McMahon, Liverpool looking to quicken the passing here. Mulby. And the pressure then by Manchester United forced a wayward attempted pass by McMahon, who has Ronnie Whelan alongside him in the centre of Liverpool's midfield. That's the real engine room. Jan Mulby in not a natural role for him, wide on the left of a 4-man midfield. And Ron, I would think Manchester United would be pleased that they haven't got to face John Barnes.
Yes, I was just having a little look to see who might fill in the left-hand spot. Obviously, Ablett will push up from the back positions to come through. Mulby, as you say, is occupying an orthodox left-sided midfield, but I can't really see him making the width there. I've got a feeling that Beardsley might be asked to come out on that side of the field a lot.
Bruce. Here's Barry Venison. Houghton. Whelan making the charge from midfield. That was calmly dealt with by Pallister. Hughes. Robson trying to keep the move going out towards the left, towards Danny Wallace. But it broke down for the Manchester United captain.
You also get the impression, looking, Martin, that Manchester United are determined to keep their back 4 in a high starting position, try and condense the space for Rush and Beardsley. Problem they might have with that is if McMahon, Whelan or Houghton decide to make those breaks at which they're so good at from the middle of the field.
We're coming to the end of a decade, and it's a decade that Liverpool can look back on with tremendous pride in terms of trophies won. Robson. Ablett was forced back. Hansen has to turn away because Manchester United are putting in a lot of good work collectively in the opening stages here. Benison. Here's Danny Watts. Phelan inside him and Robson as well. Clayton Blackmore. Hughes against Hansen. Hughes tries to turn him and does. And Liverpool needed a second line of defence there, and it was Ronnie Whelan. Blackmore plants it in again. It's Wallace round the back, and he completely missed his kick. Wasn't quite sure with which foot to approach the ball, I don't think.
He probably saw that very late, but that must go down, I guess. There's a very, very good chance. A little bit surprised to see Grobler didn't come forward on that one. I mean, that's normally his forte, to come out and command that 6-yard box. He looked a little bit rooted on that.
Well, this is how the two clubs have done in terms of trophies in the 80s. The 2 FA Cup wins for Manchester United, under Ron Atkinson, of course. But overall, the league record very tight, with Manchester United just shading it. Hughes. Blackmore. And that's Ray Houghton determined to win the ball back for Liverpool. On from Beardsley. Houghton has continued his run, but Beardsley played the pass under some pressure himself. Beardsley finding Ince an obstacle. Robson and Bruce confidently dummying it. And Manchester United prepared to take the fight to Liverpool. Leighton using the ball very quickly to left-back Lee Martin. It's already been a good day for Peter Beardsley. He's heard that he's won a prize in a raffle. He bought a ticket when he was on England duty at Wembley for Faversham Town, a local side down in Kent. The good news is that he's won. The bad news, it's a bottle of scotch and Peter doesn't drink. Joe Worrell aware that there's plenty of seasonal spirit around Anfield, but he can't expect the players to show too much to each other. Blackmore with the free kick, and Ablett was beaten to it by Pallister. And Manchester United might have made something from that. Well, there's a free kick conceded by Clayton Blackmore. Liverpool took it from the wrong place. Bruce. Not much room for Wallace in which to manoeuvre, but he did enough to deceive Benison, who then obstructed him. Bruce. Hughes was trying to sneak in between Hussein and Hansen. Mulvey. Well reclaimed by Hughes. And Manchester United with players to spare to the left. Wallace finding Martin. Liverpool pegged back again. And it's a corner.
It's a very impressive start by United, Martin. They're hustling in midfield. They're moving the ball about very swiftly. And they look as if they're trying to get forward and take the... Well, they definitely are taking the game to Liverpool, which basically is the best way to play against them.
The corner is played short. Wallace. And that will be another corner.
At the moment, those tactics do appear to have rattled Liverpool.
Steve Bruce trying to make his presence felt in the opposing penalty area. Joe Worrell deliberated, but has pointed for another corner, ruling that it came off Barry Bedison. Martin is there for a short corner, and Liverpool losing a spot of concentration. And then in the tussle of the centre, the pushing is penalised.
It's unusual, Matt, you were saying about concentration. It's unusual the very fact that they've allowed them to take 2 short corners, Manchester United. The Liverpool defenders look to be, well, sleeping, if anything.
Maybe it's the early start, Rob.
Aye.
But your Sheffield Wednesday side have beaten Liverpool this season. Was there anything you spotted from that Manchester United might be able to exploit in this game?
Well, you've got, as I've said, there's no game plan against Liverpool. You've just got to give it your best shot all the while. I mean, you're saying it's early. I'm thinking we played here at 11:30 last year and got beat 5.
This was the clash of heads between Bruce and Hansen that's left the Liverpool captain needing the sponge from Roy Evans.
Set plays will represent a very important part for Manchester United. They've got Palace, they've got Bruce. Robson's always capable of stealing in on headers. And quite frankly, if Liverpool possibly have got some sort of a defensive weakness, it could be against defending against set plays.
McMahon. Here's McLeod. Robson made the extra man with one of those well-timed charges from midfield, and Liverpool were scampering back to plug a gap. Mulvey, and it's offside against Beardsley. Ron, you know Brian Robson's play perhaps better than anybody. Does he ration those bursts forward a little bit more these days? He certainly looked dangerous then.
Well, whether he rations them, that's due to whatever his manager tells him to do. I mean, he's still as fit as any player in the country. He's still capable of making those long searing bursts plenty. In fact, I thought it was a bit unfortunate there not to get a free kick on the edge of the penalty area.
There's Robson again. Hughes. It breaks for Michael Phelan. And Manchester United are making the running at Anfield. I don't think there's ever been much doubt about the talent in the dressing room. It's the team play that has suffered a little this season. But they're stirred by the challenge of taking on Liverpool, as they have been so often in recent years. We've hardly seen anything as yet of Rush and Beardsley. And that's because the service hasn't been there. Whelan. Oh, and Wallace came in clumsily on Houghton, who shrugged him off, but Joe Worrell made a mental note, I think. Liverpool kept the ball. Houghton. And he wasn't relaxed in possession then, as Liverpool so often are. Hughes. In from Blackmore. Oh, and look at the space here for Brian McClure. In the standards of this match, it was a reasonable chance.
It was a great chance. It was a great chance. 2 years ago, that would have been in the back of the net. That shows the difference between a striker when everything's going in for him and that particular situation. Super ball in there, leaves him completely spare. And he's got a good strike on the ball. He should have at least hit target. It's 2 good chances they've had, hasn't it, now, Manchester United?
Hughes. It's certainly been a mystery to all at Manchester United exactly where it has been going wrong in front of goal for Brian McClure, who 2 seasons ago got 31 goals, 17 last season, but 4 only so far this. And he's certainly been having the chances. Ablett. Beardsley with Pallister at his back. Can Liverpool break out of a spell where they've had to defend? Beardsley looking to do just that. Whelan with a skimmer.
That was typical Liverpool. I was just thinking prior to that how Manchester United have broke their passing sequences up. For the first time there, they put a load of good passes together. Good work by Beardsley here. And Whelan, as indeed McMahon can do from a distance, always prepared to try his luck. And I think he'd actually beaten the goalkeeper there.
And in fact, looking at that, Ron, Peter Beardsley almost got a little touch on it, which might have taken it inside the post as he stretched across the line of the shot. And that was handball by Rush. Well, John Aldridge watching from our studio with great interest. John, what do you make of Manchester United's good start?
Yes, they've started with a lot of confidence, and it looks like it's going to be a great game. It's nice to see someone coming to Anfield and trying to get forward so much. And I think Mark Hughes has caused them a little bit of trouble. It's got the makings of a great game, Martin.
Well, Ian Rush hasn't seen too much of the ball as yet, and he's still waiting, of course, to break that duck that haunts him against Manchester United, although Ron Atkinson has come up with a bit of information on that, which we might bring in a moment. Ron, we don't include games that really are regarded as friendlies.
There was 30,000 people in Northern Ireland one night at Linfield when we played Liverpool in a testimonial game, I think, for the Irish secretary, Billy Drennan. And Rushy got 2 that night, if my memory serves me right, but that's never put into the record books.
But the score in the game was?
Well, we beat them 4-3.
That's why you wanted to mention it. Wallace. Martin. Now Robson. Just given a little time to think about his pass, but his thoughts were read by Barry Benison. Mulby.
Doesn't look over-comfortable there, does he, Jan Mulby? I mean, I think he's an absolutely super player, particularly when he's at his best. But he does seem more natural in a more central area.
To be fair to Jan Mulby, he played very well in that role at Manchester City and at Chelsea, but this perhaps is a more demanding occasion for him in a very congested and competitive midfield. And here's McClare. Oh, and Ablett could have put it into his own goal. And it is Mulby to tidy things up. But Liverpool so nervy at the back. McMahon brings them forward. And Gary Ablett, who was almost faced with embarrassment in front of the Kop, happy to get upfield unscathed. Whelan, and now Houghton. Benison, Houghton's flick, Rush, and Benison shoots, but the whistle had gone. I think it was handball by Rush, but the incident to analyse came at the other end. Hughes with a cross, and if McClare had touched it, if Ablett had touched it, Ron, it would have been a goal.
Oh, certainty, both of them. A little bit sorry for McClare there. He's gone in brave. He perhaps needed one more inch, and he's opened his account. As you say, Ablett was maybe a bit fortunate not putting it in. Brucey took his eye off it as well. Rover as he came across. Certainly they're looking strangely rattled. They seem very, very edgy, Liverpool.
Hughes. And Mark Hughes always walks a narrow line between being legitimately aggressive and intimidating. And on that occasion, Ron?
Well, he's scrapping for everything. He's been put up as a battering ram up against Glenn Hussein. Now, Hussein, one of his Swedish lads, Roland Nielsen, plays for us, and he tells me how strong he is, Hussein. So that's going to be an interesting old confrontation now.
There they are again. Everywhere you look, there are fascinating confrontations in a tremendous match, and it's very hard for the referee to make his whistle heard, but it has been blown. Danny Wallace, the disappointed Manchester United player. Well, the first 20 minutes have raced by. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Pallister stretching his long legs.
That's a tactic I think Liverpool will try a little bit more, you know, try and turn them Manchester United back four. As I say, Manchester United have pushed well up and they're condensing the game and putting pressure on the Liverpool midfield. The best, if Liverpool can try and hit a few balls in behind them for Rush and Beardsley to turn them, that I think will stretch the game somewhat.
Well, Leighton being stretched by Pallister's stray header. But again, a measure of the Manchester United mood that they looked to play their way out. And in fact tried to play a little too much because Robson, of all players, lost control and had to concede a free kick. When Jim Leighton came here last season with Manchester United, he was beaten only once by a Jan Molby penalty. Blackmore, but McMahon was a little late on Wallace. But men like McMahon and Whelan aren't having so many touches of the ball as they would usually expect in home games. Ryan Robson and his men have come here with the very best of attitudes. The sun causing something of a problem for the Manchester United defenders. Leighton hasn't resorted to a cap as yet. Robson, Martin, Phelan, Paul-Ince. Some speculation that he might have been moved into midfield for this game, but he's definitely at right back. McClare, Hughes and Wallace in the centre. Hughes, oh, and Hussein stopped it coming the first time. Hughes might still get there. Grobbelaar out bravely. Phelan trying to squeeze Liverpool into their own half again. Indeed, into their own penalty area. It'll come for Hughes. And Wallace behind him. But Hughes presumably to backing in. That's why the free kick has gone Liverpool's way. And they can't take it while Hughes is still down, and the referee is still checking on his state of health.
You were talking earlier, Martin, about...
Hussein was, I think, unsettled by Hughes' presence there.
Well, that's what Mark Hughes does. He backs right into the defender, and he's a tremendously strong boy. Sometimes I think defenders are wasting the time trying to battle against him. They've got to be prepared to give him ground and make sure when he does turn around that they can nick the ball off him. To get back to a point you were making earlier, you were talking about the confrontations in the midfield. Now, if you look at Whelan and McMahon, they're trying to establish themselves against Phelan and Robson. And I would guess at the moment the United pair are winning, as you say.
Hansen. Ablett. too much of a hurry, really, to release the pass when he wasn't totally settled on the ball. Gary Ablett did very well against Chelsea last week, where he was given so much freedom to come forward from left-back. Martin. A sound and sensible header down to Wallace, who likes to cut inside onto his right foot. Blackmore. United really got themselves all in a line across the edge of the penalty area then. There was no real depth to that particular attack. And one misplaced pass took a lot of players out of the game. That was Houghton chasing, even though the cause was against him, really, and he's forced a throw. And Martin gets the ball back. Hughes and Hussein.
Those two are that close at the moment, Hughes and Hussein. They'll have each other's shirts off the back, I would think, before the end of the game.
Well, they're not exactly exchanging Christmas cards either. Beardsley. Rush making his move through the middle. And it was Bruce who lunged in on Peter Beardsley. Two Geordies. Joe Worrell, as befits the most experienced official, has been right on top of every confrontation in this game. Made sure that they haven't got out of hand so far. McMahon, it's a great shot because it was dipping and swerving. Jim Leighton played safe with the save. United keeping Liverpool at long range, but they're capable from that distance. Ablett. Now Hansen. Molby to the left. Venison, though. And now Beardsley. And he pushed down Ince. The shot flashes wide. The whistle had gone. So that one didn't count, but Steve McMahon was closest, really, that Liverpool had come. And Manchester United didn't quite get out quick enough to prevent the shot, which was most meaningful.
Brilliant. I mean, it's incredible how often he hits shots from distances and is never very far off target. Incredible. They've had two attacks, really, and nearly scored from them both.
And that's one thing Manchester United have to be aware of, that a Liverpool goal, even when they're under pressure, as they have been for moments in this first half, long moments, that's Blackmore. Liverpool's record shows, Ron, when you think players like McMahon and Whelan and Molby have all got hat-tricks at this level of the game.
That's right, that's right. I mean, the goals can come from anywhere. You tend to think of Ian Rush, but they do get spread. I think it's in United's interest. They started off the first half an hour or so and played at a very, very high tempo, which I think the danger is that they let the game go a little bit steady. And that'll suit Liverpool if the game goes to a more steadier pace.
Ablett. It's very hard to sustain the sort of speed that Manchester United put into their work in the opening 25 minutes here. Hussein. Hughes roaring across to try and make life difficult here for Alan Hansen. Just under 15 minutes to go to half-time. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Phelan. Here's Ince. Beardsley. And Rush was quick enough then to make it a 50-50 ball with Bruce. And Liverpool get the benefit with the throw. Well, Manchester United have spent heavily, £7 million this season. Michael Phelan from Norwich City, one of the costly newcomers. And really, it's money spent all the time to try and lift the playing standards to those set by Liverpool. And I mean no disrespect to the current champions, Arsenal, in saying that. Gary Pallister, £2.3 million from Middlesbrough. Hughes. Mulvey. The flag has stayed down. It's Rush against Ince. But Ron, just the signs that Liverpool are starting to get their act together in the middle of the field.
That's right, they're able to put their passes together. Pass and move, that's the maxim. First-class example there, though, Vince is a makeshift right back. We understand he's been playing very well. Some good defending there against Ian Rush.
So, Ian Rush at least had a sighted goal then. Paul Ince was covering well from right back. Liverpool sending Glenn Hussein forward. Beardsley couldn't really control the ball. Ablett. Whelan to Phelan, which is not what Ronnie Whelan intended. Ince. McClare. Wallace through the centre this time. Hughes peels off to his right. McClare joins in. Mark Hughes against Grobbelaar. McClare was hoping that Hughes could have rolled it across the face of the goal. That would have been difficult to do at that speed.
Oh yeah, I think knowing Mark Hughes, when it's coming across first time, he doesn't see anything else but the goal. But that's another good chance for them, isn't it? Good build-up play, brave goalkeeping, tremendous goalkeeping.
But a sweeping Manchester United attack. Wallace with the corner. Grobbelaar hesitated, and Bruce was pushing.
Yes, that's the situation, to be fair to Hughes, when he does score. They're spectacular goals. He wondered whether he may have taken a leaf out of somebody like Ian Rush or even Kenny Dalglish. He just seemed to lift it over the keeper in those situations.
And how Brian McClare would love to get a tap in, which he would have done. There's a delay because Alan Hansen is in the wars again. Bruce Grobbelaar has had to be very much on his mettle in the first half here. The goalkeeper, who doesn't always believe that his job ends with saving the ball. He's a natural showman, particularly at this time of the year. Blackmore. Sinclair got the better of Hansen. Phelan rather turned back into trouble. And as the ball broke loose, Steve McMahon has stayed down. And even the Manchester United players were very keen for the game to stop. And Mulby actually steamrolled into Steve McMahon and maybe knocked him out for a few moments. Well, if there's one player you do not want to collide with, it's Jan Mulby.
That's right. I think that was a little bit of, well, he'd lost his rag a little bit there, Mulby. The crowd, the Man United fans had just been giving him some flack, and I think it was like a bit of a red rag, that. And unfortunately, his own mate's taking the brunt of it. I think it is a tribute to the game as well, Martin. When we came in, here it is again. Look at him flying in.
Oh, my word.
I think it is a tribute to the game, Martin. I was saying that when 5 minutes before the kickoff, I was surprised how flat the atmosphere was. Now all of a sudden, because of the tempo of the game, because of the way the players have played and the excitement of it all, it's electric in here now.
Well, Kenny Dalglish knows something more about Steve McMahon. He can take a punch.
What he didn't know is Mulby could give one.
Or maybe he did. The game will restart with a drop ball. And McMahon typically didn't shirk the first challenge that came his way, nor there did Hussein. Oh, that's beautifully done by Mulby. There haven't been many occasions of artistic touches like that. It hasn't been that sort of game. It's been raw and passionate. And you daren't take your eye off it for a moment. Mulby. Now Venison. Houghton's gone to the right. Beardsley and Rush through the middle. But so far, Manchester United are cutting off the supply to Ian Rush.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we worked on a little principle against him when I was with United, and whether we were lucky or whether we did have a little bit of success, and United seem to be applying slightly the same tactics. But as you say, the supply hasn't quite made him yet.
And ball by Wallace.
If it should stay like this at half-time, I would think Kenny Dalglish would be the happier of the two managers.
But certainly Alex Ferguson will be proud of his players.
Oh,
but 90 minutes at Anfield is a very long time.
That's right, particularly when you've played so well, and at the moment have got nothing in the onion bag, so to speak.
McMahon. Ince played on Beardsley. Venison squirmed away from Robson, but Blackmore helped out, and there was a break on then for Manchester United. This time it's Hughes who's hurt in the clash with Hussein. The temperature is always hot here, and it's rising. For the Hughes-Hussein, which is being debated now by the two players away from the action. There's a lot of aerial stuff coming in. They're jumping with elbows up in the natural way of trying to get some elevation. And there's pushing by Hussein that wasn't penalised. Phelan. McMahon won it back. Hussein won that very cleanly and very fairly, but Manchester United reacting so quickly when the ball needs to be fought for. Venison. And Liverpool having to do all their work at a speed which is disruptive to the flow of their natural game. Blackmore. Hansen. McMahon. Rush goes to the right. The ball didn't go to Rush. It was one of those imperious moves forward by Alan Hansen, who was the architect of that particular attack. McMahon. Mulvey holding the position wide on the left for Liverpool. Ray Houghton's coming in, but Lee Martin kept his eye on the ball. Back in the side after missing a week because of his wedding, Lee Martin. Robson's header goes straight to Venison. Whelan. Leclerc. Hughes. Liverpool have to backpedal, and Hughes has released a brilliant pass for Danny Wallace. Leclerc herring into the middle, and Wallace pushed the ball too far ahead of him and allowed Hansen a tackle perhaps he shouldn't have been allowed. But Hughes is giving a classic performance here, Ron.
Oh, I'm loving that, him and Hussein. That's brilliant. I mean, neither will ask for any mercy and neither won't give any.
Three waiting on the edge of the area for Manchester United. Blackmore. Grobbelaar has come and missed it. He hasn't been as certain in his judgment off his line as he usually is, and he knows he had a let-off then.
He's bang on there, Martin. By my reckoning, that's about the third cross Bruce has come for and failed to get, you know, including the one that maybe Ablett nearly stuck in his own net.
Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister, the two centre-backs. McClare! Wasn't sure where he was in relation to the goal. Well, one day soon, I'm sure he'll get a hat-trick inside 10 minutes. He's getting into the right places and he's not hiding wrong.
No, what was remarkable there was the amount of space he had from the corner. He hasn't really had to run there. He's standing there unmarked. And if he'd have shown you further around, you'd have seen Brian Robson running into the box unmarked as well.
Ablett. Well, you think of Liverpool's prolific start to the season. 3 here against Manchester City on the opening day, then the 9, of course, against Crystal Palace. Since then, in 5 First Division games on this ground, they've only scored 4 goals, and that's coming up to 5.5 games now. 0-0 against Norwich, 1-0 win against Spurs, a 1-0 defeat against Coventry, 2-1 at home to Arsenal, 1-1 against Villa. It's not quite the goal-scoring record Kenny Dalglish would hope for from his players, and Manchester United have made it very difficult here. Mulvey. Whelan. The free man is Peter Beardsley. It would have been some goal had he been able to achieve it, and he's in good form. He's scored in each of his last 3 games.
He's in great form, but he must have been reading comics to have tried that. I mean, to be fair, you'd have been looking for a player like Peter Beardsley to have pulled that down and worked his way towards the goal.
Leighton will get there, but Hampton was being tugged back. And Manchester United nearly ruined an excellent half of work here at Anfield with a piece of sloppy defending then. Beardsley. And he's past Ince. Well, the feet were moving so fast from Beardsley that Manchester United for a moment were mesmerised. McMahon. That's a rousing finish to the first half from Liverpool, and in truth they've needed it.
But that was Peter Beardsley at his best, taking people on, transferring the ball from foot to foot. He is very, very dangerous when he runs at defenders there.
And of course, he is hell-bent on proving to Bobby Robson that he must be in England's side to start the World Cup finals.
He's got nothing much to prove, has he?
Hughes. A little cameo there of what Mark Hughes has been as an influence on this game. And then he spoils it by being over-elaborate. Beardsley for Ablett. Ince hesitated, allowing Ablett to go on, but in the end down a blind alley. And Gary Ablett out of position, and grateful for the fact that that ball went beyond Blackmore. Hughes. And the 3rd minute of time added on by Joe Worrell. Beardsley. Now Ablett. And Molde had no other option really. It's 0-0 at half-time at Anfield, but in many ways Manchester United's half. Mark Hughes has been in splendid form, had a couple of openings himself. Brian McClair hasn't quite been able to round off the chances that Manchester United have been able to make. I wonder whether they'll rue that in the second half, when Liverpool will be hoping to do better. At half-time here, 0-0. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back. Very cold afternoon at Anfield. No goals in the first half, but really the most disappointed of the two teams, John, will be Manchester United, who've really been running the show.
Yes, they've played as well as I've ever seen them, to be fair. Carved open a few chances, and they've looked very impressive, I must admit.
They've been in to make 5 goal-scoring chances in the first half, which is incredible here at Anfield.
Well, you know, to get 5 goal-scoring chances in 2 seasons, you know, coming here. But yeah, they played very well, I must admit.
We've all been very impressed with Mark Hughes today.
Yeah, he come out for the first 20 minutes, he looked like a man possessed, you know, he was getting on the end of everything, holding things up, and the game rotated round him, and he's had the storm in first now.
He's been making chances, and he's been getting chances himself, John. The first really good chance that he made here.
Yeah, it's a great cross, and
I think it was McLeod just
That's right,
unfortunate
Bruce
not
has
to get on the end of it.
come out and he's done quite well to put Brian off there.
They played some nice triangular movements, United, didn't they? And here's one. Do you think he should have scored here, John?
If he'd have done what Liverpool were doing at Chelsea last week with a little chip maybe, but again Bruce has done very well and he's come out and he's smothered the chance.
Liverpool have been reduced to just a couple of long-range efforts, which you expect more from them at Anfield over 45 minutes. Steve McMahon probably the better of the two.
Yeah. He hit it well actually. Caught it well. He could have done with just putting a little bit more into the corner, but the goalkeeper's covered it well. It was a good effort.
Oh yeah, so I think the goalkeeper would have been very disappointed had he not not saved that. Well, John, let's meet another great football fan who's here this afternoon, a great friend of Kenny Dalglish. It's Rod Stewart with Clive Tilsley. Rod, you have a particularly special reason for being here today, don't you?
Yeah, well, my boy was mascot for Manchester United. He's so nervous, I don't think he slept for about 3 days. I'm so proud of him.
He says he supports Liverpool.
Oh, you're not supposed to know that. Yeah, he does, because I've spoken so much about Kenny Dalglish, I've known for a long time, so he really is a Liverpool supporter. I, on the other hand, am split down the middle.
You're a Scotland supporter, nothing else?
Oh, yeah, and while I'm here, if ever there was a Christmas present, Alan Hansen's got to be back in the Scotland squad.
Who's going to win today?
I'm not going to say, don't put me on the spot.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I am. It's a blood-curdling game, it really is. It can go either way. Manchester United desperately unlucky not to be 2 up, I think.
I bet you'd love to play in an arena like that, wouldn't you? To give a concert out there?
Oh, if I could get permission, I would next year. In fact, I'm going to approach Mr. Dalglish about this situation, do a concert here next year.
Rod, a very happy Christmas to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the match.
Thank you very much. Hansen for Scotland.
You wouldn't argue with that. Couldn't agree with him more, in fact.
OK, John, we'll talk again at the end. 0-0 here at Anfield at half-time. We'll be back soon.
Welcome back to Anfield. Bad news for Rod Stewart. His hero, Alan Hansen, is a casualty of the conflict. And Steve Nicol, the most capable player, really, you could possibly need to come on in such an emergency. Nicol himself on the way back from a lengthy spell on the treatment table when he had a neck injury. First half that really made you tingle, that had everything except for goals. Will, attacking the Kop end, stimulate Liverpool in the second half. Mulby. Hooked on by Blackmore. And Ron Atkinson-Nichol's gone straight into Hansen's role in the centre of defence. Does that surprise you?
I wonder whether, in fact, Ablett may have gone to centre-back and Nicol going to one of the full-back positions. But Nichol's played there plenty. He's very, very capable, as you say, of playing anywhere. And I think his responsibility will be to pick up the space behind Hussein. Hussein will get the job of battling Hughes again, I would guess. And Nichol's job will just be to sweep around the back.
And knowing Hussein and Hughes, I'm sure both of them are relishing the continuation of their particular battle. McMahon couldn't get there. McClare could. He's got Wallace to the left. Blackmore and Robson joining Hughes in the middle as Wallace goes on and off the pitch. Ron, Danny Wallace looks an instinctive player, that he can do things at times that are so spectacular, and you wonder quite whether he knows exactly how he does them.
Yeah, I must admit, when he was at Southampton, he used to frighten you to death because he was sharp, he was bright, he played all along the front line. He's had his problems with hamstring injury, I think, since he's gone to Manchester, and I think that may have restricted that little bit of lightning zip he had.
Hughes, a great flick from Wallace's pass. Phelan capitalising on it in terms of possession, but not with the cross. For the focal point again, as Michael Phelan will appreciate was Mark Hughes. In the players' vernacular, he showed well here and flicked the ball on to Phelan.
Full marks to Phelan, though. He's done, and Robson's done it on a number of occasions. They made good breaks off their strikers. And in fact, for me at the moment, I think Phelan has probably been the most influential player on the field.
He's playing where he prefers, in the centre of midfield. Benison took it away from Wallace. Robson. It's played for Hughes again. Hussein timed his jump very well. Robson. Off McClare, Phelan. Paul Ince. Liverpool know all about his shooting power from his West Ham days. He got a couple of famous goals in the Littlewoods Cup tie last season. But they can't set him up for a shot here. And Manchester United haven't taken too long in the second half to re-establish themselves in this match. That was a strange one. It ricocheted off McClare and flew almost like a shot. Martin. There's McMahon. It's a difficult one for Nicol. Grobbelaar being called into play, and in the end, what could have been a fraught situation for Liverpool wasn't. It's a high-tempo, physical match, but within it, both teams trying to play, particularly Mark Hughes, and Robson is up alongside him, as Beardsley is alongside Rush, and Pallister had to scurry though. Phelan. And Blackmore finding space behind Gary Ablett, that's drawn Nicol out of the centre. McClare. Blackmore. It's an interesting cross. It's a difficult one for Hussein. Hughes, and it was dangerous play. Ron, you've had to prepare a team for this fixture often in the past. It must be difficult to get them competitive, but to keep their composure as well and not lose their discipline.
That's right. I mean, but one thing that happens, why I don't know, but when Manchester United come here, they seem to get on the coach. You can even see the players as they're coming to the ground. They seem to be growing. You know, it's not a fixture that I can remember any Manchester United player ever shirking from, and certainly you're seeing evidence of that today.
We're 6 minutes into the second half, 0-0.
And to add to that, Martin, psychologically, it seems to have a little bit of a down, you know, on the Liverpool players. I think they know, in a funny way, that the Uniteds have some sort of a sign on them. Because I'm seeing players today that I've seen earlier in the season play tremendous, and they seem as if they're a little bit inhibited at the moment.
Brushed Pallister, but not the arm. Joe Worrell was only a few yards away from the incident. Manchester United, though, more than standing their corner at Anfield. But amongst Liverpool's many virtues is patience.
Where, of course, Liverpool do have a problem as well. Without John Barnes, they've really no one that can carry the fight in wide positions. I mean, I can't recall in the course of the game yet where where Liverpool have really got round the back of the United defence. They've had to play everything in front of them and hope that they maybe get a midfield breaker getting through.
And in this game here last season, Barnes was absolutely magnificent. It was a 1-0 win, as I said earlier. He earned the penalty, brought down by Steve Bruce. If Liverpool get a penalty today, they might worry a little because they've missed their last two. Barnes was culpable on one occasion, and Mulvey last week at Chelsea. Mulvey on the ball now. Venison, it's an inviting pass for Ray Houghton to try and spin into a shot. Whelan. Houghton looking for a better angle here against Martin. And the young Manchester United left-back was determined not to be passed. Credit to both players then. Houghton was trying to avoid an obvious ball in. Now he's in charge at the corner. McMahon looking left. Mulvey. Hussein repositioning in the centre. It's a fine pass from Whelan to Houghton. McMahon. Ince was there. Hughes, and Paul Ince has sprung through the centre, and Liverpool haven't really picked him up. They've got red shirts around him now, as Danny Wallace carries the fight forward. And Joe Worrell got involved, and Manchester United with Ince nearly got a goal that we would have talked about, Ron, for a very long time.
I can remember Joe Worrell disallowing a very good penalty claim once for Liverpool on this ground. I don't think it'd have been the most popular fella on Merseyside if they'd scored then, United.
It was a nice touch.
Oh, brilliant. He's not bad at that, actually.
Liverpool aren't off the hook yet. And I think inwardly Joe Worrell will be applauding that catch by Grubler. Whelan. And for once a pass outside the range of Hughes. Manchester United holding Liverpool at Anfield with 35 minutes left. Beardsley onside, and he couldn't get a touch to the ball when he was looking for that Liverpool loop over the goalkeeper. And it was one pass this time from Barry Venison that opened Manchester United up. Ince, who's been wandering a little in the second half, but is back at right back now. Robson. Beautifully played with McClare. Hughes. The free man to the right is Blackmore. There's Hughes! Well, they do deserve a goal, Manchester United. Alex Ferguson has been saying that we've been playing well enough, but our finishing has let us down.
Yes, that was a good build-up. Super ball in, and Mark Hughes has done exceptionally well. And that's not his great strength, heading the ball. But that was really a very, very good build-up.
And here they come again with the two Welshmen, Blackmore and Hughes. And Hughes has turned Hussein. He wants to lay it off. Phelan and McClare and the fingertips of Grobbelaar.
Well, when they put the passes together, they seem to cut the Liverpool defence to ribbons, don't they? I thought earlier in this build-up, just hard to generate some power on that. Very good save. But earlier in the build-up, when Hughes turned inside Hussein in the box, I thought he refused a very good chance himself.
Grobbelaar clears the area, courtesy of a right hook onto the ball. Wallace slings it in again. It's been a marvellous little spell, this, for Manchester United in the second half. Michael Phelan forced the ball up to McClare a moment or two ago. But you wondered, Ron, at half-time whether they'd be able to come out and do what they'd done in the first 45 minutes. In a way, they're doing even better.
Yes, I would have to agree with you on that. I must confess, at half-time, if you'd have asked me for a winner, I would have probably said Liverpool, bearing in mind how well United have played and got little reward for it. But it looks as if United, if anything, could possibly step the tempo up this half.
Well, it is amazing, and I don't want to burden you all with statistics, but McClare and Hughes both scored in that famous win at Old Trafford against Liverpool on New Year's Day at the start of this year. And I think on only one other occasion since then have they both scored in the same game. They could have easily had a couple each in this game. Ince. Robson. Blackmore took just too long. And Liverpool are having to look to counter-attack on their own ground. And they might just do it with some menace here, with Jan Molby. The support by Liverpool standards was a little slow coming, but they haven't lost the ball. McMahon. Molby has it again. Benison. And that will be Leighton's in front of Rush. Liverpool trying to free themselves from the shackles that Manchester United had put on over the previous 10 minutes or so.
You're talking about support from the Liverpool side. What's happening, Martin, is the midfield players, particularly McMahon and Whelan, have got taken so far back that they've got longer distances now to get up to Rush and Beardsley.
Bruce. Well, how about that for confidence? That was supreme defending. And here's McClare. Trying to place it. Hoping to catch Grobbelaar unsighted. It flicks off Joe Worrell again and again for Manchester United. Wallace. Undoubtedly, Manchester United are taking the opportunity here to show the country that they are made of sterner stuff than perhaps they've been painted.
Basically what's happening, Martin, good players are playing well. I mean, I don't think anyone questions the ability they've got out on the field, and they're coming good today.
Which begs the question, I suppose, as to why they haven't done it more often this season, and Alex Ferguson would also want to know the answer to that. Oh, and Molby and Ince, that wasn't a challenge in which much love was lost. Something of a catch-weight contest too. But the match very much still there to be won. Although Liverpool might lose it with stray passes like that one from Venison. Phelan. Blackmore. Mulvey. That is a brilliant pass for Peter Beardsley. He's taking on Bruce, but he's not got past him. Rush has got to the loose ball. Ray Houghton was very nearly in because of that, but Ince in the nick of time.
Martin, if Peter Beardsley had been a little bit more aware of what was around him, Houghton, who eventually got the ball from Rush, was in a great position when Beardsley first received it.
Beardsley, now McMahon. Houghton, Liverpool lifting the pace. McMahon lining one up. Well, they are responding, as you'd expect Liverpool to do, to the considerable challenge posed to them by Manchester United today. And just when you think that the game can't get any quicker, they find extra speed and strength. It's a phenomenal encounter. Two great rivals, and it's been played, and I must stress, given one or two games between them in the past, in great spirit as well.
Well, referee Joe Worrell can take a lot of credit from that. Apart from laying on two great chances for United as well, he's also refereed the game very well.
Hussein with an anxious lunge. I don't think it's an occasion for a referee still learning his trade, shall we say. I remember Keith Hackett, another of our top officials, did the game last season, and Joe Worrell, who's handled this fixture once before at Anfield, back in 1985, has done his job unfussily and maintained control. Beardsley's offside. Liverpool finished the 70s at the top of the First Division. They will accept being there at the end of the 80s, if that's the way it turns out, but they won't value it too highly, I can tell you, because no trophies are awarded for that. Pallister. Hughes. Now Martin. Ball out of play. Well, Manchester United will wonder how it has stayed at 0-0. They've had the better chances, really, right from the start of the game. Phelan. I'm not sure where Michael Phelan is going. Lee Martin has to help out, and he's perhaps taken a risk too many. Out of your picture, Phelan was just lamenting that he wasn't getting the help that he wanted from his teammates. The upshot is a free kick to Liverpool, in a position from which they can threaten Manchester United. Ablett. McMahon. Oh, and look at the space Houghton's got now. Rather slapped out by Pallister. Beardsley, I think, will be guilty of an infringement there. Viv Anderson and Lee Sharp are the two Manchester United substitutes today. $37,500 in the ground, and many millions watching, not just only in the United Kingdom, but all over the world. Phelan. Mulvey. Pallister with some poise.
Including his days at Middlesbrough, Martin, I would say this is the best game I've seen Pallister play. There'll be a lot made if he doesn't score again. Rush, it'll all be Rush hasn't broke his hoodoo. But today, a lot of that's down to, or most of it's down to Pallister. He's had his critics, but he's shown a lot of outstanding pace and composure today.
The ball just curled out. McMahon. Mulvey to the left. McMahon has found him.
That's a first-class situation where Mulvey's received it there, where Barnes in the same position would have had the pace and the ability to go at people. Now, I think he's a super player, Mulvey, but out there he can only move the ball forward. He's not going to take people on from that position.
Phelan. Blackmore. Phelan's got ahead of Ince. Manchester United picking their passes well again. And Leclerc not frightened to shoot. Lesser characters might have shrivelled inside after the misses, not just in this game, but in recent weeks as well. But he is a very tough man, Brian Leclerc. Wallace. Well, on the shot count, Manchester United well ahead, Ron.
I was just thinking that. I'll bet at the end of the day, if they don't get any rewards, I bet they'll sit down and think, well, how the hell's that happened? I think all the front three have all had 3 or 4 great opportunities apiece. You mentioned earlier about McClare not ducking out of his responsibility of scoring. I think on that...
Oh, my word.
It's all calm again. I think on that count, I think in the last ball he had was typical, but he didn't realise the amount of space and time he had.
Just scuffed across field by Venison. There have been errors forced upon Liverpool in this game. But here's McMahon. Whelan. Johnny Wallace was just having a conversation with the bench about a recurrence, I think, of a hamstring problem. And it's a curse of players who are particularly quick, a sprinter's injury. But Lee Sharp will fit snugly into that role on the left-hand side. So he samples the Anfield atmosphere at the age of 18. 18 minutes left. Manchester United with the free kick. Hughes and Bruce. Alistair beyond him. Lee Martin takes it. Hussein's header was aimed for Rush. It found its target. Phelan. Oh, and it was Robson who gave the ball away to Beardsley. And look at that from Gary Pallister. And indeed from Blackmore. Hughes, who was setting himself for one of those spectacular specials. Sharp. Grobbelaar with a different type of distribution, diving forward to get the ball out of his grasp quickly, hoping to catch Manchester United with too many players upfield. But they haven't done that.
To get back to an earlier point, as Beardsley got possession there, it was noticeable that, once again, that no midfield player could get up to him on the Liverpool side. McMahon was striving, but certainly Whelan and Mulby and Houghton couldn't get anywhere near him.
Blackmore. McClare. Hussein got a foot in. Manchester United still in a position where a lot of good work could be ruined if they lose their concentration or perhaps get overconfident at the back. That's less likely, I would have thought. And John Aldridge still wondering where Liverpool might get a goal from.
Yes, Manchester United have carried on from the first half and playing very well. But I still think it can go either way, you know. Liverpool are catching on the break a bit as Man United are pushing forward, so it's still anyone's game, Martin.
Ron Atkinson, you'd agree with that?
I would do, and I just wonder what John thinks about how they would view this game on the continent, the tempo it's being played in. There's players in Spain would faint at this, John, wouldn't they?
You're right, Ron, yeah, it's far different. It's, in my opinion, much better to play like this than the way they play in Spain. And it's nice to see, you know, come back and see it.
I must admit, John, you're being a bit sporty. This is one of the best games you'll see this season in England.
I agree, yeah. For the, you know, 0-0 game, it's a special one, yeah.
And this match is being beamed to Spain with one of the commentators in Spanish, the former Liverpool player, Michael Robinson. "15 minutes left. "15 minutes in which, if Manchester United could manage a goal and win it, and I think even the Liverpool supporters would feel that there would be some merit in that result, it might just make their season and take them into a new decade in far better heart. On the other hand, a Liverpool goal could mean a fourth consecutive defeat for Alex Ferguson's team, and that's on the record, which won't show how well they played here. That's the dilemma of the minutes that remain. McMahon. Venison. Mulby again, although he's got a free kick. Not quite sure of how best to work that position on the left of midfield. But Kenny Dalglish, who has one other substitute, David Burrows, to use. Well, it's the poker-faced expression. It really says so much about how Liverpool have, at times, been overrun by Manchester United. But they're still in a position where they can strike for victory. Houghton, McMahon. This is Beardsley. Pallister's got to be careful with his tackle, because the Anfield penalty record is prolific.
Yeah, but I think it will be if you're attacking, Martin. I think this was very, very close to... It isn't a penalty, but it was very, very close towards being one.
Possibly a player less honest than Peter Beardsley might have tried to manufacture one, though. But Beardsley knew he could keep the ball. Houghton. Ablett's gone outside him. Beardsley. Sharp. Saying there before Hughes that time, and Martin gave Martin a bit of a buffeting with the elbow. Hughes. Manchester United have a corner. Michael Phelan waiting on the edge. Lee Sharp to take it. Hussein, master in the air. Phelan. Now Blackmore. Oh, that's a delightful touch by Hughes. Nicol hoping to keep him at bay. Help from Whelan. Hughes won't be denied, he's got a throw. Beardsley for a rush, and it was all done at high speed again. And that was the reason some of the coordination came out of the move. Hughes, I think, was trying to bring the ball down to control for himself, but Robson got to the loose ball anyway. On Liverpool resorting to hitting just long balls.
I was just thinking, it's amazing really, they're looking very much like the away side at the moment, where they're having to absorb a lot of pressure and try and play on the counter-attack. And a lot of their attacking options are taken by the fact that they have nothing in a wide position. They're having to try and play those inch-perfect balls through the United defence, through the heart of the United defence.
Blackmore, who's a player who packs quite a wallop in that right foot. His versatility has served Manchester United well. Brian Robson driving his team on to the last. Moulding. It is amazing that Manchester United chose to drop Mark Hughes a couple of weeks ago against Crystal Palace. There was a plan to that, to see whether Brian McClair might function slightly better. But I suppose it's just a measure of how desperate Alec Ferguson had become to try and come up with a winning combination. He very nearly got a win put on a plate there by Hussein. Grobbelaar certainly didn't appreciate that back pass. Eight minutes left. Rush. Ablett. Rush. Mulby infield this time. And Manchester United very quick to round upon him. Hughes. Well, Manchester United have certainly set their standards now.
Well, it's a great occasion game. They've got big match players, and they've played in that sort of spirit. They've taken it on themselves. Their good players have played very well.
Ferguson, I think, just introducing a note of caution. Everybody wanted to go forward at the free kick, which is taken by Blackmore and met by Mulby. McMahon. Beardsley trying to break free. So too Rush. Martin's come all the way across the field to try and stay with him. Houghton. Mulby. And Brian Robson in the right place. Houghton. Pulled down by Pallister. That's got to be a free kick to Liverpool. And it's amazing that the players here have got so much left after such a stirring game. Hussein desperately trying to get free in the centre. Here he comes, and he was watched all the way by Bruce. Up goes Hussein again, and they look for the Swedish centre-back when there were others lurking unmarked on the edge of the penalty area. But it's a set play that's brought the menace to Manchester United. They're coping well enough with what Liverpool are trying to piece together in the free flow of the game. We're inside the last 5 minutes. Ince with a throw. Pallister. Beardsley anticipated that beautifully. It would be a time for Rush now, but he wasn't selfish. He was heading back across goal. He would have written the headlines if he'd knocked it into the top corner.
That's right, but I think that little attacking move just about sums up Liverpool's attacking play. They've nearly done it. But a lot of things...
That's Lee Sharp trying to do it for Manchester United.
A lot of their little passing combinations just haven't come off just at the last pass, actually.
Don't doubt, even at Christmas, the seriousness of this occasion. You just saw it perfectly illustrated. Hussein and Hughes. I don't think a penalty even crossed Joe Worrell's mind. Martin, Robson. There's still time for one player to put his name in the rich history of meetings between these two great clubs. Phelan. Manchester United happy to have the ball on that quarter of the pitch. Oh, and if Robson could have taken that in his stride, Liverpool might have been struggling. Instead, they're looking to counter-attack. McMahon with a great pass for Mulvey. Gary Pallister as the defender. Mulvey gets his shot in. Wonderful vision by Steve McMahon. And so often in the past, Liverpool have delivered the decisive blow late on in the game. Ron Atkinson, so many good performances here, but I've got to ask you for your man of the match.
My man of the match could be Pallister, could be Hughes, but it's not. It's that man on the ball now, Phelan. I think he's had a tremendous game. He's worked up and down the field, he's shown good qualities. For Liverpool, Hassan's done very well, but Phelan for me.
So Ron Atkinson's choice, Michael Phelan, who was a winner here last season in Norwich City's colours. Well, it's a difficult time this for players, with so much self-indulgence from the rest of us and the fans. But I think they've earned an extra spot of lunch if it's a Christmas lunch today for them, Ron.
Well, if it does stay at no score, it'll be an unbelievable scoreline, because it's been a game full of all the good things about the British game. Good football, fast raiding and attacking, some good passing movements, and tremendous commitment.
Maybe Liverpool's last chance to turn it their way. Robillard with an eccentric clearance. Houghton. Joe Worrell is checking with his watch. And the challenge of coming to Anfield has lifted Manchester United again. Liverpool held at home. United were just that, in a common purpose which could act as an example for a new initiative from them in the new year. Liverpool's Christmas lunch will taste just a little less palatable. Winning is all that matters here, and they haven't done that today. May I wish you all a joyful and peaceful Christmas, and plenty of matches to watch as good as this one in the new year. The views of John Aldridge after the break.
Down to the dressing room area now, and hear from the Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson with Clive Tilsley.
Alex, is that a match that Manchester United should have won?
Well, we're a bit disappointed. You know, we had several good chances, but it's sort of a typical of what's been happening recently. We're just getting that first goal. We need a goal to settle the confidence in the side, and when you miss one and you miss two, and then it can carry a wee bit on, you know.
Are you any closer to knowing why Manchester United can match Liverpool on a day but not over a season?
Well, I think it's two big clubs together, isn't it? It's always difficult here, and for both sides. It's always a hard game. The rivalries existed for years and years, so that helps us in that sense. You know, it's great traditions in both camps.
But is this a starting point again for your season? You've lost your last three.
Well, we're disappointed, but we only drew, really, to be honest with you. So it's a good result, but it could have been better. And we've got harder games coming up. We've got I wouldn't say harder, but hard games coming up.
And if I were to give you a fiver for a championship bet now, where would it go?
On which team? Well, it's early doors, and we've really got to get wins. That's the thing. You know, we're drawing today, so it's a loss of 2 points. It makes it more difficult for us, doesn't it?
Thanks for joining us, Alex.
Thank you.
John, think even the most loyal cop-eye would have to agree that United deserve maximum points today.
They certainly played very well, and I think they'll play a lot less better than that this year and get a victory, I'm sure of that.
Two outstanding chances in the second half. Both fell to United. The first to Mark Hughes, who had an excellent all-round game today, didn't he?
Yes. It's a good cross, and I think he'll be a bit... you know, he never hit the target. He'd be a bit disappointed there, but it's easy to say it.
Well, here's the second one. It came just a minute later. Hughes involved in the build-up there, and it fell to Brian McClare.
Yeah, he's done well there. He's adjusted himself well, and at the end of the day, Bruce has done a good save to keep it out.
But, of course, the side didn't look as if they'd lost their previous three. That's fair comment, isn't it?
Yeah, they look very good outfit today. I thought they had a lot to play, and as you said, they're probably a little bit unfortunate.
Have a good Christmas. Thanks for being with us. Merry Christmas to all of you, from all of us, and also from football's elder statesmen. Bye-bye.
Well, I do hope and wish that all people concerned in the game have a happy and a prosperous Christmas and New Year.
Liverpool are without doubt the British football team of the 80s. The League Championship trophy took up almost permanent residence at Anfield. It was the European Cup in 1981 and again in 1984. After Haysel, Kenny Dalglish took over, and his goal against Chelsea won the league again in 1986.
And Dalglish is in here. Yes!
That was the first leg of a possible double, something which had eluded even Liverpool up till then.
Sharp is still there. And he's still there. And Grobbelaar seems to be at 6s and 7s with Beglin, as you might gather from that. Unrest in the camp. Here's Whelan. Mulby. And here's Rush, onside. Ian Rush, goal. The referee was knocked over in the excitement, but Ian Rush has equalised for Liverpool. Here's Gary Stevens. And Hansen, uncertain, and the header by Sharp, and a fine save by Grobbelaar. He got his captain out of jail there. Alan Hansen with a most uncharacteristic error in trying to ward off Lineker. He beat his own goalkeeper and gave Sharp a heading chance. But look at Grobbelaar's athletic recovery. Here's Rush. Dalglish is up, so is Mulby here. Dalglish, no, Johnston, yes! 2-1 to Liverpool. Craig Johnston. And here's Sheedy. Chipped in towards Lineker. Jim Beglin with the header. This is Whelan. That's Johnston. This is Rush. Mulby again. Oh, I say, his vision there was lovely. Whelan. And Rush is on the far side. Is this 3? It is! Again, and surely now the double is about to be won. Liverpool have won the double. He's got Beardsley going to his left. It's still Barnes. That's a fabulous individual goal. Aldridge. Beardsley. Oh, brilliantly done by Peter Beardsley. Liverpool calling on all their hardened experience as Forest start the second half in the ascendancy. But this is what happened before. Barnes, Aldridge is there, Aldridge! And exactly the same again. Liverpool come out of defence and snatch a vital goal. And again, Barnes involved, and what a volley from Aldridge. Still McMahon, oh, well played Steve Nicol, look at this. McMahon made that possible. And Hansen saw that ahead of Glover. Experience against innocence there, perhaps. Houghton, Barnes, Houghton goes again, he's through. Ray Houghton. Pierce as well, but that was Ablett. Barnes. Aldridge waiting. So is Nicol here. Hansen's header back. Houghton to Barnes. Oh, Beardsley! Corner. Great stop by Steve Sutton. Wonderful save. McMahon and Spatman combining beautifully. McMahon's shot. Barnes hit the post. It happened so quickly. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Clough again. Never stops working, looking for positions. But Barnes too is a that type now. This is Spatman. McMahon, oh. McMahon's having an absolutely marvellous night. Beardsley, oh, he seems to be able to find space and find Aldridge. And that is another superb Liverpool goal. Beardsley. And now he goes alone. Still Beardsley. Hit the bar. Barnes can curl it maybe from here. Short. Beardsley's flick. Houghton. Ah. There are so many alternatives. Wilson. Pierce. Quite a spirited start here by Forest to the half. This is Clough. And it was Houghton that got back to make the challenge. A goal kick's been given, which seems to have surprised Nigel Clough. Nicol. And Houghton. Aldridge is in there. So is Beardsley here. Still Beardsley. Good save by Sutton. Beardsley denied after more trickery in the penalty box. Spinning virtually on a sixpence there. Barnes working it to Houghton. Aldridge. Gillespie! Decisive finish. And the move so fast from the corner that all Steve Sutton had done earlier was wiped out. Hansen now. Beardsley, oh look at this. Alan Hansen, the captain from the back, and he was so unselfish. He couldn't quite find Aldridge. Ray Houghton finding Nigel Spatman. Barnes against Chethel. Oh, look at Barnes here. They're waiting for the pullback. Beardsley! glorious goal again for Liverpool. Here's Spackman. Barnes. Spackman goes again. Houghton! Was a good chance. Aldridge chasing here. Came off Foster. Chettle. Well played, Spackman. And Beardsley. And Spackman. And Aldridge! It's 5! And Aldridge is counting up the goals against Forest.
Barry McGuigan became...
He can get a clearance at this height so that he pressures Hooper and Pollard to greater heights. Oh, his pole's broken!
Coates has always been an attacker, and it doesn't really matter. Oh, what a victory! These championships aren't due!
Heaven only knows what the decision is about that.
Go for it. I've got to come back next week. I can't see that.
OK, do you want to put it together then and tell me what...
All right, he got hit in the goolies.
No, that's not it. That can't be it. Yeah. He goes back on the stumps, having been hit, and dislodges the bail.
I've got to say that Ginny was much closer to it.
He's bowled the ball down, took a bit of a break, he's gone back, he's clipped it with his bat, hit him in the box. Hit him in the box, gone into his pad, got stuck in his pad, and the wicket-keeper's come round and got him caught out, or something nearly like that.
I think you've got...
Yes, we got it! You didn't have a clue, any.
The ball lodges between Dean Jones's legs.
Ooh!
Near miss, wasn't it? He runs away, he's not sure what to do, and he's chased by both of them, who reckons if he doesn't drop it, he's caught him out.
Could a dog have... What, the Land Rover ran him over? You're going mad, motor...
Well, I overheard Emlyn say that.
Yeah.
Emlyn thought they were playing badminton.
I reckon it's got to do with the dog. He fell off because the dog had come running out.
Nothing like it.
Tell him, pal. Tell him, pal. We know. We know.
Emlyn, what's happened to your arms folded?
We know, I can't. We know.
Where's the handbag?
We know.
Just a minute.
Hit him with it. With the handbag.
Do you know?
Yes, we know, don't we?
Yes, the fence he was aiming at was divided in two. It was between 3 trees. There was a tree in the middle. And somehow or other, because he wanted to turn the corner after he landed over the fence, I think he started to, I don't know why, but he didn't get the line quite right. And